Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Golden Bachelorette Chock Chapple reveals if Joan Vassos' trip to his hometown was a success amid relationship red flags. The Golden Bachelorette Season 1's winning pick Chock Chapple finally got Joan Vassos back to his home state of Kansas for the new year, and he's sharing more about whether the trip brought them closer together or tore them apart. Throughout the Golden Bachelorette Season 1, Joan and Chock's love story wasn't always something that resonated with Bachelor Nation. While many wanted to see Joan find genuine happiness, they weren't certain about Chock being in the picture. Regardless, Joan choosing Chock and accepting his proposal has ushered the couple into a new phase of their lives, which they shared online. In a recent Instagram post recapping their New Year's celebration, Chock shared that he finally had the chance to bring Joan back to Kansas after visiting her in Maryland for Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's been a fun few days showing at Joan_Vassos around Wichita, Chock explained, along with several photos of himself and Joan visiting some local spots with friends. The golden couple has been spending a lot of time with her family and friends in Maryland, so the change has been beneficial to their relationship, as Joan has been getting to know what Chock's life back at home is like. As Joan and Chock have moved through their relationship, things have been getting more intense for the couple the further they get from the Golden Bachelorette. While Joan has been focusing on bringing Chock into her family, the majority of their time has been spent in her home state, surrounded by her friends and family. Throughout the holiday season, the couple has been doing more together, but they haven't been spending time in Chock's neck of the woods or exploring his turf together. Having promised to do so during the Golden Bachelorette finale, it's good to see Joan in Kansas. While Joan and Chock took their time getting back to his home state, it was clear that they both wanted to hold up their end of the deal surrounding their time post-show being spent in both of their homes. Joan's time in Kansas is something the pair has been discussing for months, and to see it finally come to fruition means that they're serious about their long-term plans. Going between Kansas and Maryland for now, Joan and Chock seem to be sticking to their plan to eventually settle in New York this year, making themselves accessible to their families. Although Joan and Chock have spent a lot of time in her hometown, knowing that she's been genuine about wanting to go to his hometown and get to know his life there is sweet. Joan, who's been working hard to find someone throughout the last few years after her husband's passing, has finally found someone she feels confident enough with to invest in. As she gets to know Chock's home state and looks forward to the future, Joan's getting the opportunity to make new memories after the Golden Bachelorette with the second love of her life. Chock Chapple's hometown date on the Golden Bachelorette was always destined to be a turning point in his relationship with Joan Vassos. As the season's charming yet enigmatic contender, Chock had captured Joan's attention early on with his thoughtful demeanor and surprising sense of humor. But as they stepped into the next phase of their journey together, it was time to uncover the layers beneath the surface. The question was, would Joan find what she was looking for, or would red flags overshadow their connection? Welcome to Mystic Falls. Chock's hometown of Mystic Falls, a picturesque small town nestled in the Blue Ridge Mountains, seemed almost too perfect to be real. Joan arrived to a symphony of chirping birds, vibrant autumn leaves, and a warm breeze that carried the scent of apple cider. The setting was idyllic, but Joan's nerves were undeniable. After all, hometown visits were notorious for either cementing bonds or exposing cracks in the foundation. "Welcome to my world," Chock greeted her with his signature smile, arms outstretched as if to embrace the entire town. Joan couldn't help but laugh as she stepped into his embrace, but her mind was already buzzing with questions. Would his family accept her? Would their connection feel as strong here as it did in the show's bubble? And what about the whispers of Chock's commitment issues that had surfaced in earlier episodes? The first stop was Chock's family home, a charming colonial-style house adorned with pumpkins and cornstalks. Inside, Joan met Chock's parents, Martha and Harold, along with his younger sister, Emma, and his rambunctious golden retriever, Max. The family welcomed her with open arms, And for a moment, Joan felt like she was stepping into a Norman Rockwell painting. Over a hearty meal of roast chicken and mashed potatoes, the conversation flowed easily. Martha's warmth and Harold's dry wit put Joan at ease, while Emma's candid questions about Joan's intentions brought a refreshing dose of honesty to the table. But not everything was picture perfect. Joan couldn't help but notice a few moments where Chock seemed to withdraw, his gaze drifting to the window or his responses growing clipped. Was he nervous, or was there something deeper he wasn't saying? The mystery of Chock's past. As the day unfolded, Joan's concerns grew. A visit to Chock's favorite hiking trail revealed more than just breathtaking views. It was there, amid the towering trees and crisp mountain air, that Chock opened up about his past relationships. "I've been hurt before," he admitted, his voice tinged with vulnerability. "It's not that I don't want to commit. It's just, I've always been afraid of choosing the wrong person and ending up in a situation where neither of us is happy." Joan listened intently, her heart aching for him, but also recognizing the potential pitfalls. She appreciated his honesty, but his words raised a critical question. Was he ready to move past his fears and fully invest in their relationship? Community connections. The next stop was the Mystic Falls Community Center, where Chock volunteered as a mentor for at-risk youth. Watching him interact with the kids, Joan saw a side of him that melted her heart. He was patient, encouraging, and genuinely invested in their success. It was clear that Chock had a deep well of compassion and a desire to make a difference. "This is where I feel most like myself," he told Joan as they watched the kids play basketball. "Being here reminds me of what's important." Joan couldn't help but be impressed. But even as she admired his dedication, she couldn't shake the feeling that there were still pieces of the puzzle missing. Chock's life in Mystic Falls was undeniably beautiful, but was it a life she could see herself fitting into? The evening unravels. As the day turned to night, the mood shifted. Chock had planned a romantic dinner at a local winery, complete with candlelight and a live acoustic guitarist. The setting was perfect, but the conversation quickly veered into tense territory. "I need to know if you're all in," Joan said, her voice steady but her eyes searching his. "I can't afford to invest my heart in someone who isn't ready for the same." Chock's response was measured but left Joan wanting. "I care about you, Joan, I really do. But I'm still figuring out if I'm ready to take that final leap." It was the honesty Joan had asked for, but it wasn't the reassurance she'd hoped to hear. As they sipped their wine in silence, the tension was palpable. Joan's verdict. By the end of the evening, Joan found herself at a crossroads. Her time in Mystic Falls had shown her both the best and the most uncertain parts of Chock. She admired his kindness, his dedication to his community, and the love he had for his family, but the lingering doubts about his readiness to commit weighed heavily on her heart. As they stood outside her car, the night's chill wrapping around them, Chock took her hands in his. "I don't have all the answers yet," he said, his voice earnest. "But I know I want to keep exploring this with you, if you're willing to give me the time." Joan searched his eyes, looking for the conviction she needed. Finally, she nodded. "I'll give you time, Chock, but I need you to meet me halfway." The morning after. Back at the show's confessional the next morning, Joan reflected on the visit. "There's so much I admire about Chock," she said, her voice tinged with emotion. "But I'm also aware of the risks. I want to believe in him, but I have to protect my heart too." As for Chock, he seemed more introspective than ever. "Joan's incredible," he admitted. "She deserves someone who's all in. I'm just trying to figure out if I can be that person." A relationship on the edge. The hometown visit had been a success in some ways and a challenge in others. It deepened Joan's understanding of Chock and brought to light both his strengths and his uncertainties. But as the competition heated up and other relationships continued to evolve, Joan knew that time was running out. Would Chock step up and show her that he was ready to fight for their future? Or would his fears ultimately drive a wedge between them? One thing was certain, the next rose ceremony would be a defining moment for both of them.